Well, good afternoon. Hello there, Luke and Sir Little Wolf. Tusdico. I think I said that right. Maybe, maybe not. What you guys up to today? See if we can get a few people to join. I haven't done a very good job of planning this one. I wasn't sure I was going to go live today or not. I'm going to give it a try. We'll see if I can get some of this software to cooperate. I'm still figuring it out. You know how that goes. Hey, Judy Bassett, Monochromatic, Harry Warp. I won't call you later. Late for dinner. Hey, Clive. I won't do that. Level isn't horizontal. Is Bev being Bev again? You betcha Bev's being Bev. Bev only knows how to be Bev. Pretty curious to me how he does what he does. How do you claim that you're not a flat earther? You just don't think water is curved. How can that be? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But that's the way they are. Still trying to excuse it. We might do a little stuff. Hello, Sean Hawkins. Let's see. Oh, Elam, what's going on? And the one sin, Michael Chirakas, all you guys, hello. Welcome. We'll wait and see if we get a few more people. I was listening to some interesting, hey, Professor Phil, how you doing, buddy? I was listening to some interesting stuff there that was on, actually, I guess it was on Try Thinking. But it's a video that was taken off of Brandon Toy's channel. I don't remember when it was. It's been a while back. I remember listening to it. But we're going to listen to that in a few minutes. We're going to listen to that because Brandon Toy asks precisely the right questions of Bev. Exactly the questions he should be asking. And I think it's pretty telling the way Try Thinking tries to back his way out of it. So we'll kind of go through that, and we'll see if we can get some more people to join us in the Discord. If you want to join in, please do. See if we got anybody sitting in there. Not at the moment. But yeah, the Discord's up and running. I'll even turn the volume on. There we go. Oh, JSS Tiger. Hey, man, what's going on? If I miss anybody, my apologies. I'll be like Jose. I'm new. Actually, kind of new to doing this sort of stream. So I'm still trying to figure out the best way to get everything hooked up. But we'll get there. Let's see if let's see what shows up here. Oh yeah. There we go. This is what we're going to talk about. This is what is going to be talked about between the Try Thinking crowd and Brandon Toy. And I think Brandon did a great job of asking the right question. Imagine that you're looking at 3 water levels, or well, you're looking at water levels. This one at the top up here, maybe you can see my cursor, would be, it could be a single water level with a tap in the center, or it could actually be 2 separate water levels. Wouldn't make any difference as long as that center elevation of both of them are matched up. And that, of course, is what you would expect to see on a flat Earth. And the water should be in a straight line. Points A, B, and C should fall in a straight line. But that's not actually what we see in reality. We see what we have down here at the bottom. The Earth is not flat. The water is not flat. The water is curved. And the level point in each of the standpipes for the water level follows that dotted red line. And now if you sight from point A to point C, you're going to see water in that center one above the straight line distance, that straight line formed by connecting points A and point B, or A and C. This is where Bev has gone wrong, and he goes wrong every time. He makes the false assumption that 2 points is all he needs. Point A and point C define a straight line, and certainly they do. Therefore, water is level. No, I'm sorry. Doesn't work like that. Put point B in the middle, and now you've got a couple of straight lines. You've got a straight line from A to B and a straight line from B to C. And that's, in reality, what's going to happen. So, was everybody able to see that okay? We can make it really complicated, and then you can do what do what Try Thinking does all the time, which is talk and never say a damn thing. But it's just as simple as this little diagram I've got showing up here. And as long as all you're doing, I don't care how many water levels you've tied together, as long as you are looking from water level to water level to water level, those points are level. That is that dashed line down there at the bottom. Those points are all at gravitational equal potential. They're all the same, effectively, the same distance away from the center of the Earth. All of those points are. And it will only be when you can define a straight line connecting the first point on the water level and the last point on it, and then monitor points in between. And it doesn't have to be right in the center. It could be anywhere in here. You're going to see a difference. You're going to see that that water is above the straight line connecting the two endpoints. That's just all there is to it. It's unavoidable, and it was demonstrated brilliantly by Jesse Kozlowski when he did the GPS mapping of Lake Pontchartrain. That's a hell of a water level. That's a 24-mile long water level with a 90-foot sagitta right here in the center. That's precisely what that showed. And you really just can't deny it. So let me see, I'm gonna get my headphones on. Shut off some audio stuff so I don't get a bunch of feedback. Got 40 people watching. Hey, thanks everybody. Yeah, just reading the chat here. That's right, it's Thurston 2. How you doing today? You're exactly right. What Bev does is prove that water is level by using water level. Well, yeah, no joke. We don't disagree with that. It definitely is. But I'll tell you what, let's see what we can do here. Let me see if I can get this on the screen. And I think I need to do that. There we go. Now this is this originally was done by on Brandon Toy's channel, but then taken by B-Ball and played on Bev's channel I think it was last night. So anyway, let's see if this thing is playing.
Yeah, you'd have to think that a water level is a different than an auto level. Like they both do different things. One of them establishes a horizontal, and the other one establishes a level. But level is level. Like you've got a law of identity problem.
No, you really don't have a law of identity problem, Bev. Not at all. Everyone knows and has always known that an auto level or an optical level, like the one I've got, is establishing a horizontal at the point that the level is sitting. And if you dropped it down to sea level or the surface of the Earth, it would actually be establishing a tangent at that point. That's what it's doing. And we also know that we can't take that sighting from an auto level out indefinitely because the curvature of the Earth is going to influence it. So I see somebody said I had some echo. Luke and Tiny Captain. All right, I don't know what's going on. Let me try it again. I may just need to mute my mic. It may be picking up the headphones.
if level has two different meanings, which it definitely hasn't. Sounds like a diletheism sort of problem. Maybe a bit of definition shift paralogisms. Who knows? But there's something weird going on. Nice for B-Ball to bring this back in. Shout out B-Ball.
My vocabulary is never going to be the same after this.
Yeah, it takes a while for us to get into it and the spirit of it. Carry on. 400 meters makes 5 marks. So if you're having A, B, C, well, you've got 5 points. So the ones in the middle of each of them are at the same level, right?
Yeah, so you've got 5 points that are at 3 feet now, say.
Yeah.
Brandon,
So
do
how
you
do you know on
understand
yours?
what-
Hold on. How do you know on
How do you
yours?
know?
So you've got your 5 points. How do you know any segment between, say, A and B, B and C, C and D, etc., anywhere along those imaginary lines is also, every point along those imaginary lines are 3 feet in altitude as well?
Because you...
And that was exactly the question that needs to be asked. Brandon hit the nail on the head with that. How do you know that those things are all forming a straight line? And I'm going to try something else with the audio. You guys hang on a second. Let's see what happens with this.
You do geometry and you find a way to prove that two straight lines are sharing the same common segment, right? The same straight line.
How was that? Does that make the audio better or worse? I'll give the stream a few seconds to catch up. And meanwhile, let's see. Let's see how we're doing here. Oh, 46 watching. Very good. Thank you. Judy says something's wrong. We can hear Bev. Oh well. All right. So everybody's saying it's better. Good. We'll try that for a while.
Yeah.
Like, because that's the question, right?
Yeah.
You're asking us, is it curved?
Yeah.
Or is it straight?
No, I'm asking you how...
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
yes, in geometry, there is a way to prove it is a straight line. Yes.
Okay, so in reality, if you're doing this test, how is it that you are going to say the segments from A to B and B to C, or even from D to E? How are you going to prove that those segments are all sharing the same plane, that they're all parallel with each other?
Because it's a straight line test, and there will
That's
be
the
no
rule of
hump
geometry.
in the middle.
No.
Right? It's not. We'll be able to prove it's not curved by showing it is straight.
I mean,
The
but
fact
how,
that-
your
the
test
fact that
doesn't
Brandon-
prove that it's straight all the way from A to E. That's the issue.
That's exactly the issue. Brandon saw the flaw in Bev's logic, and it is a flaw. Everything he says starts with that basic flaw, that somehow or the other you can take any two. Well, and I don't disagree. You can take 2 points and form a straight line. What you can't do is determine if some point between those 2 points lies along that straight line. And that's what Brandon zeroed in on. Good for you, buddy. Let's listen to it a little bit more.
Yeah,
That's what I'm asking you.
Yes,
Well, if it does,
It
then you
does.
haven't explained to me yet how you're
No, because
accomplishing that.
Yeah, I've been on this show a couple of times, and you've done the same thing every time.
And I've never
Right.
gotten a good answer.
No, because you don't let me go through it from the beginning.
I've let you go through from the beginning twice, but you should be able to answer this question pretty easily, because this is the key question into determining
Brandon,
what the
Water
shape of
finds
the Earth
its
is.
own.
Wow. Seems a bit combative, right? Maybe there are a few people that are a bit combative when we talk about water levels. Brandon definitely seems like it.
We're not being combative. We're just recognizing the fact that you're full of shit, Bev.
Talking about straight lines and water levels.
Level.
I know, I agree water finds its own level. Guys, no one needs to tell me again that water finds its own level. I fucking understand 100% that water finds its own level, and I believe that the surface of water is horizontal. I'm trying to understand how this test conclusively proves that.
Okay, listen.
Geometry. Just practical geometry, Brandon.
Let's make another point. There is no way to prove the shape of the Earth using geometry. It won't work. You can't do that. There has to be some observation or test performed to demonstrate it, Bev. And you've not done that yet, ever. You run from this every time somebody says, set up a theodolite and cite the first vial and the last vial in that water level and see where the water is in one in the middle. You run from that because you know what's going to happen if you ever do it. You're going to prove Earth curvature just like Lake Pontchartrain proved it.
Geometry is not an answer. It's not a practical answer.
It is. Geometry
then tell me
is where
how
we get
geometry
our
proves it.
from.
Tell me how
Because
geometry
that's
does
what
it.
Geometry does.
Explain to
Can
me
I
how
please- can I
geometry
try,
does it.
please? It's, you guys are still not on the same frequency. Can I try?
Brandon,
please?
you don't understand what a proof is.
I do understand what a proof is, and you haven't given me a proof yet.
You just prove that the straight line is a shared segment, and then you prove that the straight line continues as a straight line,
And how do you do that?
not a curved line.
With the rules of geometry,
What
the
rule?
axioms and the postulates.
Hold on, please let me answer his
the
question.
axioms and the
please.
postulates.
Explain it to me. It should be simple.
It's a logic. Listen, it's a logical
Bev,
inference.
bring up the bit of paper that has all the
No, you know how hard it is to go through this page,
yeah, I
especially with an
do.
unwilling participant.
Okay,
Oh, who's the unwilling participant, Bev?
Yeah, I'm willing to have.
Because I think
peaceful
this is a
conversation with
very
you about
simple
this.
question to answer if you know the answer.
Okay.
Just get to
In
the punchline. Get to
Euclidean
the
geometry,
fucking
that
punchline for
straight
me and show me.
line,
I'm
two
willing to
straight
have.
lines can't share the same segment. So if you've got two lines that are the same height, same elevation above the ground, they are the same straight line. They're not.
Wow. I don't know what to tell you about all of that. I'll tell you this much. You're wrong, Paige. There's two straight lines. Here's a nice straight line from A to B. Here's another nice straight line from B to C. They do not share a straight line segment. This is what is bound to happen over a curved surface. And if you are going to maintain that it's like this top diagram up here, then you're going to have to prove it. You're going to have to stop just stating that it's a shared line segment. You're going to have to prove it's a shared line segment. The only way you can do that is finding a way to show a straight line from the beginning to the end, inclusive of the point in the middle. Is that clear enough for you? Now let's see if I can figure out how to get back out of what I just did. I think I can. All right, here we go again.
Two different lines, or a curving line. This is why we're telling everybody to go back to the very beginning of geometry. Learn what a point is. Learn what a line is.
Only if all the line segments that you're talking about are parallel to the bottom
Okay, can I
line.
please try?
And you haven't
Please let me
proved that
try.
the bottom is a
Sure,
line. You haven't proved that the
Can I-
bottom's aligned. That's what we're trying to
Bottom
prove.
of what, Brandon?
Sorry?
The bottom of what?
Sea
Yeah,
level.
please try.
Sea
Proving that the
level.
straight line we've
Can I-
made.
No,
The
still
surface that you're measuring above with
Wow, shit show. I forgot how bad these things were. I'm not really getting much chance to say anything. This is bad.
your
Right.
water level.
Brandon,
it was very
Brandon,
chaotic.
have a conversation.
Yeah, this is what it was like mostly all of the time. Whenever you go over there to try and explain anything, I think, like I said, I've been over there twice, and it was pretty much like this all the time.
Pretty much like what? You mean people asking reasonable questions and demanding reasonable answers for them? Is that the part you don't like?
Level.
Peaceful. Can we please try? Please.
I am trying to get to a point I've been trying to get to for months.
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help right now with a thought that I have in my mind. Can I have a conversation with Brandon, please? Okay.
Ooh.
Let's say you drive a stake into the ground and you've got it marked off 3 feet high. Okay. So you've got a 5-foot stake. You drive 2 feet into the ground. You got 3 feet remaining. Now you walk 100 yards. You do the same thing. How do you know those two things are level? You know they're both 3 feet off the ground, but there could have been a deviation in the ground between you and them. You could be lower or higher. You don't know because of the distance. Okay? Do you follow that so far? Both.
Yeah, and in case you haven't picked up on the voice, that is Travis, another of the rocket surgeons from the flat earth side.
Your stakes are 3 feet high off the ground, but one of them is lower in elevation and you don't know it yet.
One of
Got
your
me?
stakes is lower in elevation. So you've got 2 stakes, A and B.
Yep.
One of you've marked what you think is the same height above the.
No, it's a 5-foot stake.
Okay.
You drive it 2 feet down. You only got 3 feet left. It's just straight up, right?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now you've got a graded field. You've graded the field as flat as you can get it because you're going to build a warehouse. Okay.
And let's certainly don't bother talking about that spherical excess you're displaying there, buddy.
Now you're marking off the corners of your foundation. So you got one foundation point, right? You got 1 point. You walk 100 yards away and you want to make sure that you have leveled your grade. So you drive that stake down and it's 3 feet high. But you know what? You didn't know that the ground topography dropped. But to you, you didn't know. So how are you going to check it? You get a water level. You put a water level at point A and you match it at the 3-foot line. And then you've got the other end of the water level 100 yards away. And lo and behold, it's not higher or lower than that point. Guess what you know now? It's a straight line. You don't have to do anything in the middle. Nothing.
It's always a straight line between 2 ends of a water level, Travis.
Absolutely, Brandon. You are 100% correct. You only have 2 points. You can't define that curve without a third point. My God.
Yes.
That's not the
Okay,
question.
but okay, please
Yeah,
listen.
it is.
Then. Okay, please,
That is the
please
question.
listen.
That
Okay,
isn't
please
the
listen.
question, Bev.
If
Okay,
it's a
please-
straight line,
I'm
why-
not done yet.
Where's
Please,
the curve?
please, I'm not done
No,
yet.
but-
Okay, listen, please listen. Hold on. Okay, now I'm going to change the result. Now point B is higher. So if you then put the water level at point B, it's not going to be level at point A. You now know that there's a higher elevation at point B. Now you've got a slope.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so here, Travis, let me try to, because it's clear to me you don't understand what I'm asking,
Okay.
and maybe other people don't
Okay.
as well.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
Okay.
So in your little scenario there, we've got stakes A and B. Pound them 2 feet into the ground, and I'm going to assume that the ground from A to B is all the same altitude, right? So we'll call it 0. It's sea level.
What's the
between A and B.
elevation if it's the ground, Brandon?
Sorry?
If
Oh,
you're
it's
talking
elevation.
about the ground,
Yeah.
that's the elevation.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's all the same elevation.
You don't assume the elevation of anything. You have to measure it.
All right, here, let me finish my scenario here. So we've got stakes A and B, same elevation between the two. And the reason we know that is because the ground is standing water at sea level, okay? So we know that for sure, that it's the same elevation between A and B. We've got our stakes sticking 3 feet off the ground. We take our water level, we put it at the top of stake A, put it at the top of stake B, mark two notches. We know those notches are at the same altitude above sea level, 3 feet. Now, if we connected a line, let's say we had some magical zero mass string, and we strung it from notch A to notch B. The question is, would every point along that line also be 3 feet in altitude above the surface of the water? That is the question.
That's exactly the question. Absolutely. And I want to welcome Alan Evans and Farmer's Boy and George and Tiny Captain over in Discord. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you, mate.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
How you doing there, Blue?
Hey, George.
How's my audio level?
You're okay. Might be a little
No,
loud.
I can adjust it.
Yeah.
It's loud.
Yeah.
No,
can
you're fine.
handle it. Are you? Okay.
See what?
Hard for me to tell. So,
Yeah, no, you're fine, George.
yeah.
Are we supposed to be hearing any audio from the live stream though, Blue?
You should be, I think. I don't know. Are you?
Hey, Blue.
Yeah.
In today's show, I'd like to spend 3-4 hours discussing why horizontal is level.
Oh. I just realised what the time is. Good night.
Yeah. Have a nice day, George.
Yeah, on day of all days. You must be joking.
Lessons on how to clear the room.
Yeah. There you go. I think Brandon's doing an excellent job of stating to Bev what the damn problem is. Bev just doesn't know how to listen.
Can I just say that I think this is probably the only time that Brandon actually made any sense?
You might be right.
Because usually he was firmly on the flat Earth side, but he has obviously seen the flaw. And we know Bev recognises the flaw because he just will not give a direct answer.
Yeah.
Is Brandon back?
No, this is
that's
from a long
why I
time
asked the
ago.
question in the chat. Yeah, when did Brandon just sort of seem to slip away from the flat Earth scene? How long after this was that?
I can't give you dates and times. I don't know. I didn't do a lot of research on that, but I know it's not it's not been recently. This goes back.
Oh, is this that you're talking about with Brandon? Is this the discussion he had with Bev about his test and query?
Yeah.
Oh, that was about a year ago.
Yeah. Well, how long has Brandon been, absent?
Probably close to a year now, maybe 3/4 of a year.
No,
that show I remember well is I coached Brandon before that show. I got into a private conversation with him, and I said, "Look, Brandon, this is what Bev is trying to do, and he's snowing everybody, and these are the questions you need to ask. This is where Bev isn't understanding, or he's trying to hide what he's doing. He refuses to look down the water level with an auto level to see if they're in line or not. And you just really need to hold his feet to the fire." And I thought Brandon did a pretty decent job on that one.
Yeah, he did. And by the way,
given what you're up against, given the other side of the table, i.e. Bev, and what he's dealing with, I thought Brandon probably did about as well as anybody could on that particular inquiry because Bev is always devious and bobbing and weaving, never answers a direct question.
That was almost finished. You're not going to look down that water level with an auto level, not unless you do something funky to your auto level. That those endpoints won't even line up if you go a mile out there. You can't do it. You'll have to do it with a theodolite. Auto level.
No, what I'm talking about is you get to one end. What I said is you get to one end, you set up your auto level and look down the line of the water level, and you'll see that the successive risers all fall further and further below the horizontal.
That's right. That's exactly what will happen. All right, so let's go back on mute and listen to Brandon a little bit more. What, John?
I just joined. I thought that they were like flat earthers on the Discord. Was that not live?
No, no. Just go on mute and I'll play some more of this. This is a video from that Bev.
Oh, I see.
Played last night. Okay, or the night before, something like that. So here we go.
Straight line.
Perfectly straight. Would the surface of the water be a straight line? In order for it to be the same altitude, our no mass string, the surface of that water would have to be.
There's no audio
a flat plane
on
right?
Discord.
A straight line.
By the way,
is the water right at a high?
I don't know what's going on, John. I'm sorry. Okay. Listen to it. You'll have to listen to it on YouTube, maybe.
Yeah, no worries.
Is it like freestanding, just nothing acting upon it?
It's like the clearest day in all of history. There's not even like a butterfly farting anywhere. It's so flat. It's amazingly. It's horizontal in my opinion too, but that's what I'm asking. How does that test prove that it's horizontal?
By you use geometry and proofs to prove that it is a shared straight line segment.
How do you prove that it's a shared line segment?
That by doing what and devising a method using water levels to show that, or you could choose to show a method to show the absurdity of what the ball model would have to show, wouldn't you? You could use that reducto ad absurdum.
Okay.
Right, to show.
Brandon,
and this is your 400. This is your 5 stake method that you're alluding to. Is that correct?
But that's one of them, yeah.
Okay. Do you now? How does that 5 stake method prove that each of those segments is parallel and that every point, along that imaginary line that connects each of those, are the same altitude above the surface?
Right. This is where you have to understand what a proof is. And
hey, Bev, I just wanted to help real quick, if I can.
Yeah, go on.
What is it you think I don't understand about a proof?
Well, I'm just trying to help out here real quick. Like the 100-meter water level, if you took an auto level in between and looked 50 meters each direction, you could check that horizontal. You can choose to do that or not.
The horizontal of each segment?
Oh yeah,
I missed that guy.
Yep.
But that would, okay. I'm not sure that would do it, because let's say I put my auto level in the middle of a segment A to B. It's 100 meters between them.
Yeah, you can go to the end too.
Yeah. I make it level, right? I make it level, right? Hold on. I make it level. I fire off my my auto level. Bam. It points to the same elevation, the same distance below
point
on each one, on each stake. What does that tell me?
You could go in between. You could go before.
That means, right?
Mm-hmm. 3 code planar points. Yep. You can look
to establish.
Let me say the problem and let me clarify it too. Okay, the problem is what they're saying. Okay, as frustrating as it is, the math lines up identical to the sphere if you're angling the each point. Okay, and that is very frustrating. But here's the solution.
Brian,
let me give the fucking solution.
Oh, here we go. This is going to be funny.
Angling, Brian's coming in with.
I'm sorry, Pat.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of how much fun it was over there.
Yeah, it's just, I'm trying to explain a water level to uncooperative Brandon. And everybody, it's like that scene on Airplane, isn't it? Let me have a go at him. Let me explain it. And Brian's not helping.
Hang on. We know what you're doing. You're looking down.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you're making me look like an asshole unless you let me tell the solution. Okay, the solution is if you're going different distances with each shot, then you'd get a different fucking result. So it's got If we go 100 meters at a time over a mile,
50 meters.
Boy, it's killing y'all to let me fucking say my stance, right?
Yeah, can you let Brian get it out of his mouth? I mean, what the fuck, man? Let him get it fucking out.
Here's the thing, okay? So here's how you judge that. You could do multiple different shots, which would be different angles by their math. So if you went 100 meters exactly at a time and come up with a mile, they could use angles against you and say that you're shooting around a curve. But if you went 100 meters one shot, then 150 meters a second shot, then 50 meters a shot after that, then if they didn't line up, they would line up different on a spear, okay? That's the only way to distinguish is if you use different distances, which they do in surveying. They don't use the same distance shots. So to me, planar surveying proves flat water. That's my point.
Why you would come and defend the globe? That does not make any sense to me whatsoever.
I'm not defending the globe. I'm telling you how to distinguish. You didn't hear nothing I just said because you didn't listen.
I can't interrupt you because you interrupted me. Okay. What I was trying to
You said I'm defending the fucking globe, dude. Apparently you didn't hear me.
No wonder you won't ever come talk to us.
Yeah. Why did you say that, Cleary? He wasn't defending the globe. He was describing the situation. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Why'd you say that?
It doesn't get a lot better than that, does it? My gosh. And in fact, Brian, yeah, you don't have to go the same distance each time. What's important in differential leveling is that you are the same distance. You're right between the 2 points. That's why you do differential leveling. You take out the curvature of the Earth, it'll be the same foresight drop as it is to the backside. That's why it's done. Continue, please.
His first words were the globe.
Yeah.
So what? That doesn't mean he's defending the globe?
He's saying that the measurements are going to be equal with the globe math. And
the math.
Yeah. He's not saying that it's the Earth is a fucking globe. Why would you say he's defending the globe?
Their math, geometry, curves.
See, I don't get that.
Anyway,
but why y'all so triggered? When all I was saying is you could take a
why are you and
I'm triggered because you said I'm defending the fucking globe, dickhead.
Damn, dude.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Down. Let's all settle down, myself included. All right.
Wow, this is amazing, B-Ball. Well done. Wow.
Yeah, that'd be one way of saying it, Bev. Wow. This is absolutely like watching a bunch of 5-year-olds trying to figure out where babies come from, isn't it? I don't know, man. Let's go on a little bit further and see how much more we can tolerate here.
This goes to show, I mean, this is talking about Bev's test, is it? Remember Bev's test? I mean, what the hell's going on about Bev's test here?
More horizontal.
Nothing.
More Brian just barging in like a madman and Brandon going, why don't y'all let Brian talk? And then I think that was me being the voice of reason, which is crazy. Now that is crazy.
That's the only true thing Rakia has said in a long time.
Come on, guys, calm down. I mean, it's only water level.
Yeah, it's like we're just trying to talk about water level in a
Could
test
you
to prove a
post the
straight
link in the
line.
live
What's
chat
so hard about
for the
it?
YouTube stream?
Do people don't think it is? I mean, like, you'd have thought Brandon.
Or DM it to me.
He says he knows a water level.
I'm sorry. Were you talking about George? George.
Yeah, I was wondering, could you post the link to your YouTube stream, either DM it to me or put it in the live chat?
I'll have to start. Sort of stop doing everything to do that, George.
No,
you don't.
Okay. All right.
Never
mind.
You don't have a link to my.
Somebody else can do it.
Are you
no,
looking?
I don't.
Well, just okay. Let me see.
I just DM'd it to you, George.
Somebody gave it to me. Alan gave it to me. Fine. Thanks.
All right.
I've also figured out why we can't hear it, but I'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah, okay. We'll get this straightened out as time goes on. Be patient, guys. I'm new at this, okay?
Level established.
Hang on, I'll drop him a link in live chat.
Why can he not see how a geometric test about a straight line would work?
If somebody told him it's only horizontal at a point.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm trying to hold back at this point because I'm still formulating the method, and I'm hoping to inspire other people to see whether they can come up with a test to do with a straight line and how they do it, and to see whether anybody else is got it.
Oh, good grief, Bev. We've told you how to do this 100 times. I don't know what part of it you can't understand. If you're going to try to do this with a water level, you're going to have to come up with a way to sight from one end to the other of that thing, and then be able to accurately measure the difference in the height of the water level at the center point. It's just that simple. It's not a hard thing to do, other than you've got to go a considerable distance to get enough change that you're going to be able to measure it. We've been over this over and over and over again.
And it doesn't seem like anything's working. I know better than to tell everybody things, because then they just come up with an argument against it. You're much better off trying to get other people to imagine a test for themselves, how they would prove a curve or a straight line. It doesn't really matter.
I think the only question you would ever have about a water level is anything interfering with its ability to function properly. Other than that, you know what the results of the water level are going to give you.
Yeah, the logical conclusion you'd have to come to is there a drop at either end? Well, there can't be. Water would flow. So then, if you've got two ends, I mean, is there a hump in the middle? That's the only test you need to do, is to make sure there isn't a hump in the middle. You just need to devise a test or some way to check whether the water level in the center of a water level is on the same level at the two ends. I mean, it's ridiculous to say it.
It is.
That's the only test you need to do. Make sure that the middle is on the same line as from the two ends. I mean, I'm struggling to understand why this has been a problem for everyone. I mean, we have been out and done this test practically. It doesn't cost much, and it's very simple to do, but you have to have the geometric understanding of what this test is and how it works. Otherwise, you're left in a place like this where you're talking about it.
No, actually, all you got to do is look at the information, and there's tons of it that was collected by Jesse over that causeway in over Lake Pontchartrain. It's exactly what we're talking about. You can find an identifiable point in space at the beginning of that causeway and at the end of it, And then if you find a point anywhere near the middle of it, you see a 90-foot sagitta. It's going to do that every time, anywhere you do it on the face of the earth. And there's enough difference that it's undeniable. And that's not based on optics. We don't have to worry about refraction or any of that nonsense. That is pure, raw position data.
To never let me, have a screen up, go on the whiteboard or do anything because
why hasn't he actually just done
It seemed
this?
like he was fighting against you, for sure.
It does sound like it, doesn't it?
Absolutely, to me it did. Yeah.
Let's all calm down.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's
Take
ridiculous.
a deep breath, guys.
All I said was get 50 meters to the center of the 100-meter water level. Look front side, back side.
Just note that in the chat, we've got some of the globe Earth scientists that say that they've told me how to do it.
Whoa, might have been Blue jumping in there.
Well, it's already been done. Didn't need any help from you, Blue, actually. Thank you very much, though.
Move to the end of the water level, look back, and look forward again. You're connecting all those line segments by doing that, and you have one straight horizontal line.
So you're going to do it optically? Is that right, Clear? You're going to optically look down?
What do you define as optics? Would you say that surveyors are accurate in their techniques when they're doing differential
Now you're going to
leveling?
answer my question with a question?
I'm answering you. It is accurate because surveyors use this tool to use in differential leveling to determine elevation changes. Even though you actually physically have to look with your eye, it's not like long-range photography over the ocean. Okay, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, but it is optical. You're still making an optical measurement.
Can I ask a question?
When you use it within its limits, it's very, very accurate.
Okay.
Thank you.
So 400 meters is within the limits? That's what we're saying?
You're not looking 400 meters. You're looking 50.
That's a water level 400 meters, isn't it?
Can I ask a question?
So what are we looking at 50 meter? Are we looking at one segment? Is that what you're talking about?
All right, hang on, real quick. Maybe you don't get it. We got 4 football fields to go. We go out to the 50-yard line. 50-yard line. We look back, okay, and then we look forward. All right. Then we go to the end of that first football field, and we look back, and we look forward. Okay. Then we go to the next 50-yard line on the second football field, and we look back, and we look forward. Right, all the way down. 50% overlap.
50% overlap. So you're looking past the ones.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And what you do is simply step yourself right around the curvature of the Earth and prove absolutely nothing.
That are the post that's behind you and the post in front of you to the one beyond it. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, my
so
brother.
you're leapfrogging when you're looking back.
Clary's doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying, dude. Use different distances. That's exactly what I was trying to say, man.
Right? Yeah, but what we're doing is we're going to substitute that looking for an actual water level, like a real physical water level, an actual thing, right? With the water that evens out at every point. Now, at every 100 meters.
Okay. Wait, so you're not gonna do what Cleary described, Ben?
We've already checked that 100 meter water level is level. We've already done that. That's been done. Pages.
Yeah, brilliant. You prove that water is level using a water level. Excellent, Biff. What are you going to do about this? How are you going to show that point B lies along the line between points A and point C? That's the question.
You can do both and check the results against each other.
Wait, okay.
Which they'll all be the same anyway.
100 meters, there's not very much difference between the two models, right? It's level. I believe you that it's level. Totally.
Yep.
So how did you determine that 100 meters was level? Real quick.
We got a water level, and we put an auto level in the middle of it, right, and looked at either end. Then we moved the auto level to one end, and we looked at both ends again. And then we moved it 50 meters past the end, and then we looked at both of the ends again through the scope.
Oh, good grief. Were you paying attention to what he just said he did? Because this is what he did. Let's see if I can fix this thing up. There we go. Let's see if we can figure out what it is he said he did. Oh, I know. He put his water level here at point B, and he looked back at point A and got a reading, and he looked forward to point C and got a reading, and they were the same. Imagine that. That's what differential leveling is all about, Bev. Of course you're going to get the same number. That's the reason we do it that way. That's the only reason we do it that way. Good grief. All right. See if I can get this thing to go back where it was. Hang on a second.
Right? Is that enough?
I don't know.
Because it was enough. It was enough for me to prove that. He said he didn't know. Just explained a test to show, and he doesn't even know how that shows its level. Anybody wants to come and have a talk about any of these tests that we've done about proving that a water level is level, horizontal, with an auto level, horizontal. I'm struggling as to why we had to do this with Brandon anyway in the first place. But I mean, it looks like it's still needed to be done, right? This going over why a water level is a hot tool that establishes a horizontal.
Oh, good grief. Establishes a horizontal between 2 points. And if you move either one of those points, you just established a brand new horizontal. And that's all you can say about it. You know, I guess we can let this go for a little bit longer, and then we'll open it up and let the panel talk about it a bit. How's that?
Amazing. We'll go over it again, obviously. The water level was level, but I already knew it was level anyway.
You keep extending the line and rechecking on what you've done.
That was my point, man. If you use different distances, then if it was a spear and you use different distances, you would get varying results. You'd get varying results, but you don't in real life. You don't get varying results.
Yeah.
That's my whole point.
Doesn't matter ever. Nobody. If you're doing differential leveling and you're just concerned with the elevation, you do not matter about the distance you take.
Right. That's my point. That's the only way to distinguish. Doing it mathematically, that's what I was trying to tell Brandon, is doing different distances, you'd get different results on a globe, but in reality, we don't get different distances.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying, Brian.
I agree.
We're not on the globe, so why talk about
I don't think these guys are trying to falsify one or the other models. Brian, I think we have different goals, and that's why I get frustrated. But that's okay.
We're all on the same team, for fuck's sake.
Let's wrap this up. I do have a question for Bev.
Okay.
Are you attempting in any way to falsify one or the other model and prove or disprove the shape of the Earth, the shape of the surface of the Earth?
I am here personally because somebody challenged me, right, to prove something that I already knew that it was the truth, right? So what I'm doing here is proving to myself that level is horizontal. Now, over the 2 years I've been doing this, a lot of people have gotten butthurt. A lot of people have called me a flat earther. They've even gone as far as to say, because I say that level is horizontal, then I am a flat earther, right? The very person that called me a child abuser is the same person that says, if you think level is horizontal, then you are a flat earther.
Well, of course you are, Bev. Don't be ridiculous. Of course you are. If you say the surface of water is flat you are, by definition, a flat earther. And sorry for the lawnmower noise, the yard guys here, so I probably should go on mute. But before I do that, shout out to John Watson, who says, let's talk for 10 pounds. And we're going to do that in just a minute, John.
Right? So I'm doing this for everyone that gets called to be a flat earther, right? But I'm doing it for myself. Just proving that level is horizontal. That's it.
I agree with Bev. I'd like to give final thoughts.
Hold on a minute. Let me try it a different way. Will your test prove what the shape of the surface of the earth is?
Right. Proof is a personal thing. You have to go through a process to earn your own proof. I cannot give it to you, obviously, because you don't seem to understand
geometrical
the
proofs.
geometry.
You know, no, shut the fuck up, Bev. With this, you don't seem to understand, and these sly little fucking insults you keep throwing in.
No, it's not.
Are you trying to trigger me?
Brandon. No.
Brandon.
No. A lot of people do get triggered by me, though.
Let me get my final thoughts real quick, man, to cool things down.
One more thing. You didn't answer either of my questions. Are you trying to prove the shape of the surface of the earth? Will your test prove? It sounded like no and no.
It's like I am doing it to prove to myself that level is horizontal.
And if level is horizontal, the earth is fucking flat, Bev.
Okay, then. Brilliant.
So you are doing it to prove the shape of the surface of the earth.
Well done, Brandon.
Okay, thank you. So that is a yes then. You will prove the shape of the surface of the earth.
To measure elevation, right, which disproves flatness.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, I'm done. Go ahead, guys.
And that's an excellent place to stop. I thought that was quite amusing. I really did. Wow. So, with that said, you guys in the Discord are welcome to come back in at this point, and we'll talk about it if you want to. Or we'll talk about something else. Maybe everybody's had enough of this nonsense. I see Alan's unmuted.
That just seemed to be a complete and utterly circular argument.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, water is the level because you proved it with the water level. It's very circular. I just found out that his next experiment is going to be to prove that water is wet.
Shocking.
What do you mean? Next experiment. Actually done his fucking first experiment. When are we actually going to see Bev's water level experiment?
Oh, he did it.
Did he?
Yes, but he only live streamed it through the Discord server, so if you weren't a member, you couldn't see it.
Yeah. Oh,
What do you think of a real racket?
Blue's getting his grass cut. He never put it out on his YouTube channel, and he said it's there for everybody to see. Yes, but you had to join the Discord. Not his Discord server first. If you weren't a member, you couldn't watch it.
Yeah, okay, but what happened?
Fuck all.
Right.
He had two separate water levels that sort of crossed over in the middle, and I think they were a matter of a few hundred yards long each. And he basically did fuck all with it because they were two separate water levels.
Did you sit farmers?
I've seen photos of this setup and heard an explanation of it, but no, of course I didn't see it because I'm not a member of that server. You must be joking. I'd rather go swim in a cesspit.
Yeah, indeed, poke in the eye. Definitely preferable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, his description already includes the results. So it says all segments of a water level are level and straight and therefore flat and horizontal. So the water level is horizontal, and so he took two segments and then overlapped like two of the uprights. So now he has a shared straight line segment. See, I'm done. And then when he did it, and people noticed, and everybody jumped him hard, but he never then observed the tops of all his water columns. He said, because I don't have to. Because water is horizontal. But I got a shared straight line segment. And that was the end. He'd already described the result in his description of what he was going to do, because they shared straight line segment, because water is horizontal, and he's done.
This is why I thought from the start that Bev was a Poe, because he seemed to know full well that if he introduced a third pole at any point in any of his water levels and sighted along them, then that would quite clearly show that the ground isn't flat. So it's like Phuket Word with his magical disappearing lighter trick. He knew. I assumed that he knew exactly what he was fucking doing.
But Farmers, I don't think he did any optical stuff, though, did he? I don't think he cited anything.
I don't think he did in the end. But that was the description of his test, and he deliberately didn't. He deliberately only had, two ends of a water level and didn't introduce a third in the middle, because he knows what the result will be.
Well,
I believe his two segments had 3 uprights each, so he had a total of 6 uprights, and the shared straight line segment. And he was immediately questioned, why did you not optically measure the tops of all the water columns? Because they were not intervisible. He goes, that's the beauty of a water level. They don't have to be intervisible. They said, well, how are you going to measure the tops of the water columns? He goes, I don't have to, because water is level, and level is horizontal, and I have a shared straight line segment. And that is his science right there. That's his logic. You take those couple sentences, put it all together, that's exactly his fuck all.
Yep.
Yeah, I said to him, I mean, fuck me. It must be like fucking 2 years ago when he was talking about this.
Yep.
And I said to him, this is a waste of time. This is if you're gonna just measure at both ends, you're gonna get the same result as you would on a globe Earth or a flat Earth. It's a fucking waste of time.
Without a doubt, it's been explained to him 1,500 times, right? The level occurs in the middle, and subtending the line across the endpoints is going to be another level, which will be parallel to the first one and drop down like 1.25 inches, or whatever. It's really small, and that's an incredibly difficult measurement to make when you're close to the ground, and all he has is a Home Depot, auto level. And he says, "Oh, but I'm looking for millimeters, so I can't go more than a couple of 100 meters, 100 meters, 150 meters, because he's looking for that 1/16 of an inch." Well, in that environment, it won't happen. And then he didn't even present them intervisible. And then he said, because you don't have to, that's the beauty of a water level. I have a shared straight line segment. That was all that he just said, what was going to happen before he did it. And he said that was the results.
Yeah, he's just a fucking he's just a fucking lying cunt. He's just a lying cunt.
Well, yeah, you have to be. You got a lot of fluff.
The thing is, he probably only understands it if you have a water level of 60 nautical miles and put another water level of 60 nautical miles against it, and sees there's actually 1 degree difference between them.
Yeah, but it's incredibly long, and you're really close to the ground. So it's hard to find a location. Like when Sly did it, attempted it a couple of years ago, I was really, really, really shocked and disappointed that he accidentally picked a bike trail that looked flat enough, and it went uphill 5 feet, and then he was screwed.
Yeah, I know.
His pipe kept leaking.
Sly does a lot of honest things and very good things as well.
Yeah, he didn't survey his selected site.
Yeah, he didn't do a good job.
Yeah, well, learn from your mistakes and all that.
Yeah, he went uphill by accident because it looked level, and that was, oh, you God, are you kidding me?
I liked when Sly actually disproved flatsoid with his balloon stuff that he discovered.
Oh, there's 100 ways. There's 100 ways.
There's way more things.
Yeah, what Bev did was completely a non sequitur. It was absolutely had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Bev put out that picture looking at Blackpool Tower with his auto level, and the crosshair looks to be 50 feet above the tower.
Yeah, but that's pulling Gary Wabenga, telling something completely different as what you are showing.
Fuck. You know, I was I'm gonna say I was blown away by Gary Wabenga last night. That he was absolutely steadfast when he said that if, because I gave the example, if I sight Polaris with an EQ mount at sea level and I go up to 3,000 feet and I sight Polaris again, they're going to be the same angle, and he was absolutely certain that wasn't true. That fucking blew me away. Really.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
From what I remember, on the Apollo missions, they were using the sextant in the capsule and doing star shots. Even that distance from Earth, the angles aren't that. The angles are not really different, are they?
No. I mean, if you like draw that triangle, say it's in my example, it's 3,000 feet. The short side of the triangle in orbit is, a few hundred miles. Can you imagine the long sides of the triangle are going to be like 300 light years, right? So
yeah, I know it's ridiculous.
Different.
Well, last night, like you said, last night when Gary Wabenga, said, "Oh, the angles would be different," but he kept measuring from the visible horizon. I said, "Yeah, but when you go up, that's why you get a different dip," because he said your elevation angle. I said, elevation angle from what? Because I told you, from the horizon. Well, that's not your elevation angle. So then the real cherry on the top was when it says, okay, wait a minute. If I put a level at the top of a 400-foot tower at carpenter's level, and at the bottom of the same tower, I have another carpenter's level, will they be horizontal? Will they be parallel? And his response was, okay, if I'm in a chair 20 feet away and I measure the angle to the top of a pole, like what? No, go back, stay on point. And it was just so ridiculous that he didn't come together on the elevation angle is from local horizontal and not from visible horizon.
Yeah. I think I don't know if you've seen the video with Professor Dave.
Yeah. What, on Dirt?
Dave Weiss.
Yeah, Dirt.
Dave Weiss got fucking everything he fucking deserved. And it was a classic example of a flare being demolished again and again and again and again. And he held his feet to the fire, and he's saying like stop. Are you going to trying to are you going to gish gallop and try and move on to another point without addressing the fact that I've just fucking demolished you and proved the Earth was a sphere? It was quite something. I watched it about half an hour ago. And that's what they do. And there was the comment section was filled with flat earthers saying, "Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible." Professor Dave was so impolite and rude and called Dave voiced names and whatever. He got fucking exactly what he deserved, and Professor Dave didn't take any shit.
I thought Professor Dave went a bit light on him, to be honest.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
the blatant line from Dirt. I mean, he was just sitting there, and they're talking about the South Pole, and he said, "Oh, how can you explain people working at the South Pole?" And he said, "There aren't people working at the South Pole. You can't go to the South Pole."
Yeah.
I mean, he's just barefaced lying, and that's all Dirt has got. He's got nothing but lying. And the number of times he got stumped, and in the live in the YouTube live chat, all his supporters are having to go at Professor Dave and berating the lack of moderation. And it's like, well, what do you expect? This guy's sitting here and lying to your face, and you lap it up. They swallow it all.
Yes, and I think the a point that Professor Dave made, which I think is completely correct, is that you might say that I'm being a condescending prick, but the things that you are saying devalue a couple of thousand years of dedicated science.
Quite.
So what you're saying is actually much more offensive than anything I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I really think that's correct. For anyone listening, I actually work with a guy whose son is his job is to organize tourist trips to Antarctica. That's his job. He works in Antarctica, and he has done for many years. So to say that you can't go there, that's not true. Obviously.
Well, we've got people. We got people in the community that have done
that particular thing, like everything else, just falls into shit.
So yeah, the link's in the side chat for YouTube. If anybody hasn't seen it, please do go and watch it. It's on Sean Atwood's channel, and it was about an hour or so of Professor Dave and Dirt. I can't stop calling him Dirt because it's just so appropriate.
How long ago was this?
It was yesterday.
Yeah, I saw it.
And we've got people in the community that have gone to Antarctica. Charlie, for one.
Yeah.
I don't think PhD Tony did, but he had a lot of his people that did. I mean,
yes.
We can name names, dates, and places. It
all comes down to authorship. It's like they have to do it. It's like the Academy of Sciences already did that. Well, no, we have to do it. So the Ordnance Survey UK already did that. No, we have to do it. Oh yeah, MIT built the LIGO vacuum tubes. Oh no, we have to do it. Oh yeah, well UCLA built the SLAC waveguide. Oh no, we have to do it. It's like, and if I do it, and I have, well, that's meaningless. So it's a matter of authorship. Lemon said, "Oh, we're gonna, what we need are boots on the ground to go out and test this stuff." I said, "That's very good, Lemon. I'm a boot on the ground, and I've gone out and done it." And well, that's not good enough for some reason because they're going to come up. I didn't come up with smushing.
I want to show a part of the video I'm making now. Why sections only can work on a globe, and this is because the nautical twilight, and I will share it in. I have it in my live share. Is a part of the video I'm making.
And yesterday when Benka, he was just so off he was off his rocker. He said, "Well, the subsolar point is like 6,200 miles away, and it's still 4,000 miles up." I go, "That's 32 degrees." He goes, "Well, yeah, but that's at the extinction point of light. That's higher in the sky than my noonday sun in winter." And you're telling me that that's gone to extinction? He goes, well, light can't travel forever, now can it? Although we can see stars. Well, he was just going around and around. But then he capped it with a really brilliant quote that lines of latitude are perspective angles. And then Lemon came in and white knighted that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
Lemon and Schmoosh.
When Gary was talking last night, some of the stuff that he was saying gave me the Forrest Whitaker eye.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
When I get really angry, I actually do that, and my right eye was starting to flicker. It was fucking horseshit, and I say again, I was blown away by his misunderstanding of really basic concepts, and stuff not stuff that he just has to believe, but stuff that is demonstrable. You know, he could if he wanted to, he could demonstrate this for himself.
Yeah.
So,
well, they all could, but they. Oh, Jesus Christ! I just had to look at Bev's stream. He's on the whiteboard again.
David Weiss is particularly odious.
Yes.
After what he did to that old lady. And just blatantly gaslighting. That's gaslighting. No, nobody's in Antarctica. I have clients that work in Antarctica, and they tell me. So I asked them, is there really a 24-hour sun? He's like, yeah, it's kind of a problem. You know, you want to take a nap or something, and you're working in Antarctica, and it's summer. There's summer, and it doesn't really get dark.
No.
And their little children go to school. There's an elementary school in Antarctica. There's a hospital. People are born in Antarctica. There's a cemetery. People are buried in Antarctica and die and are buried.
It's a society down there, isn't it? There's everything you need. It's a bit like the US air bases over here. When you go on the US air base, they're a self-contained community. They've got everything they need. They've got shops. They've got schools. They've got the bloody works. Well, you have to have that down in Antarctica because during the summer months, there's a lot of people down there. Obviously, during winter, 95% of them do the right thing and piss off home. But there's still a skeleton crew left behind to make sure things are ticking over. But yeah, you've got to have all them. People live down there for umpteen months at a time. You can't all live in tents and just sort of get by. But so it goes, nobody works at the South Pole. Nobody. Really, you're just lying through your teeth because you have to, because you're a flat earther.
There's a complete village over there. I'm sure.
I mean, Christ almighty, you can take bloody cruises there. You know.
What are you sharing, Tiny Captain?
What I'm sharing is actually the proof of a nautical twilight. It's a simulation from, but it's part of my upcoming video. My upcoming video will take a long time because I'm including way too much.
I know how that goes.
Shall I put it this way? I kept out of the sextant arguments long enough, and this is my rebuttal to why.
Fair enough.
Can I ask you a question, Tiny Captain? When you are far out at sea, and if you get yourself outside and get your eyes properly dark adapted, can you kind of tell where the horizon is by the fact that there aren't any more stars, or not?
That's the whole point of the nautical horizon, the nautical twilight. What I'm showing actually in this simulation.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that you need to have nautical twilight in order to take a sextant readings, and have enough indication of where the horizon is. But I was just wondering whether, how much the stars show sort of do that disappear behind the horizon thing. Because obviously I've never been to sea.
That's the point. If it's getting too dark, what you're gonna see now about in the simulation, you won't see the horizon anymore. Except when there are a lot of fishermen around, because they have very, very, very bright lights. And when they're just over the horizon, you will see the horizon again. But that's in some areas only.
Yeah, I just wondered if, depending on how many stars you could visibly see, whether
there's a lot, because we don't have lights, so the sky is lit up as much as possible. You can actually see so fucking much. That's unbelievable, because we do not have any extra lights around us. And where I live, also, the only extra light we have around us is the bloody lighthouse. But where I live, we can also already see that.
Yeah. I used to have a really good dark view from pretty much sitting on my front doorstep, until the neighbours across the field decided that it would be really nice to put the brightest set of strip lighting under their eaves, right across the front of their fairly large farmhouse, and several really powerful security lights that go on and off. Just because, I come from the city and I'm going to move into the countryside, and oh God, it's dark, I better put some lights up.
Yeah, light pollution is a problem I've got, but I live in a subdivision here that's way too close to way too many things, and everybody's got a light on at night for some reason. So it's kind of hopeless for me to look at the sky. I can see really bright things like moons and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, my annoying thing is that when I open my front door, I look other than the house across the field, the next major bright place is Copenhagen. And that's like 1,000 kilometres away, nearly.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm a couple of miles from the North Sea, and there's nothing but, there's mostly just a very big lake and some marshland and some dunes, and then the North Sea.
I'm actually not too bad for light pollution. If I go out into the back garden to watch an ISS transit, what I have to do is make sure I close the back door so the cats don't follow me, wait for my outside light to go off, and then wait for the next door neighbour's outside light to go off, because I trigger that when I go into my garden. So you have to go into the garden and stand still, and then don't move. And eventually all these bloody lights go off, and there aren't too many street lights or anything. And on a clear night, like ironically it is tonight, you can see pretty much everything. It's quite fortunate being in the middle of a village. You wouldn't think you could do that, but yeah, of course, as soon as you move, the outside lights come on, and that's it.
Yeah, I wish I was back in a nice dark place again.
Yeah. And the best one was obviously the farm I grew up on. We were sort of outside of the village, No street lights, no nothing. And yeah, if you went outside at night, absolutely clear, just no interference at all. And then most of the time, all you could see was American aircraft flying over.
Well, yeah.
The buggers. It's like, don't you ever go to sleep? No.
Jet noise, the sound of freedom.
Yep. Yeah, you could just sit there without looking up and go, oh, that's a pair of F-15s. That's a 135. That's a Starlifter. That's a Galaxy. And if you can't hear yourself, think, oh, that's the Blackbird running its engines.
Hey, you got 80 people watching. Thanks for coming, everybody. Just having a little fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this level, this horizontal stuff gets irritating, doesn't it?
Oh, doesn't it just? I mean, that's the basis of his whole belief. And when your foundations are, well, they're not weak, they're just not there. I mean, level isn't horizontal. And if that's the foundation of your belief system, well, you've had it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he just takes the description of a water level and just that wording, which is only intended to be used like inside a factory, typically, and then he says, see, I'm done. It's exactly it. And 1,000 textbooks later, clips and cuts and pastes from 100 pages of textbook.
Yeah.
He just, no, water is a horizontal plane, level is horizontal, and that's it. Done.
Well, as somebody pointed out in the chat a little while ago, and apologies, I can't remember who it was, but level is a noun, is a verb, it's all sorts, and he just jumbles it all up together and just thinks that horizontal means whatever he wants it to mean at a time, whether horizontal as in the noun, horizontal as in the verb. He just mashes it all together, and a water level creates a horizontal. It creates a local horizontal plane of reference. That's it.
And working inside a factory, yeah, curvature of a couple of thousands, may not matter. But I've seen in brochures one particular water level setup, and they have curvature of earth correction tables included in the kit.
Yeah, although I've been in the construction industry 35 years, and I've never ever seen anybody using the water level on the building site.
Well, most of your building sites are not that precise.
No, of course
and they're not that big, and they're too big for a water level. Water level is a little clunky. But I have seen even in some YouTube videos, yeah, they're leveling up like a floor of a garage or something.
They're particularly useful if there's something in your way and you can't see the other point that you're trying to hit.
Yeah,
that's
like
nice.
setting ceiling tiles in an office building where you go into each person's office.
Right.
And the Romans knew that, and they knew that you could use a water level round a corner. Because how do you sight round a corner? Well, you can't. But if you use a water level, and one end's around one side of the corner and the other end's around the other side, it still works, and you can get your level without being able to see either end at the same time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the obvious part, which is why when Bev set up his little knot experiment, they weren't intervisible. And he goes, that's the beauty of it. They don't have to be. But he's not going to optically check the geometry of the tops of the water columns because he doesn't have to, because water is level, level's horizontal. I don't have to even do that. So he didn't even have to put up his little, plastic pipes.
Well,
he did nothing.
It's the typical flat earth approach. The very first thing they do is reach their conclusion. And that's what he's done. He's reached his conclusion, and then you've got to work backwards from that and find everything and make everything fit your conclusion, rather than do things the right way around.
Yeah, ass backwards. And I looked up what's the difference. If you look up what's the difference between level and flat. I did this like a year ago, and one of the links is to a tiler. A website, and if you lay tile, you know that flat is not horizontal.
Yeah, when precision matters, yeah, the people, smart people use the tools correctly. But Chemo, he the other day, he did the same thing over and over and over again. We talk about how vertical lines are not parallel. And I said, well, how do you know? Well, the hanging of the plumb bob. Well, you need gravity for that. You don't have gravity, so therefore gravity's not a force, so you can't do that. And then we go through and repeat. He goes, vertical lines are parallel, and then move on. He goes, no. We're testing the very first premise. And Chemo said the same thing. Oh, we don't have to because vertical lines are parallel, and now we're moving on because you don't have gravity. I said, no. We're testing the very first premise. Oh, he didn't care and wasn't going to entertain that because, Chemo.
Yeah. No, he's not even worth interacting with. He's just a waste of space.
Complete and utter waste of space.
Yes.
Sorry, Rumpus, didn't mean to steal your utters there.
I don't think he's listening.
I don't think he is either.
Well,
excuse me.
The flaw is obvious, and for whatever reason, well, we know why they refuse, but they just refuse to accept the truth, the facts. But that flaw is glaring. You take that same water level, fix one end of it, and then start putting the other end at different points, you're going to come up with all kinds of different horizontals.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
But they've already assumed the premise they're all parallel.
That's right.
Which is, they say we make assumptions, and yet they are built on assumptions. They don't have anything but assumptions. They assume there's a dome because of second law of thermodynamics, but they'll break every other physics law. They say, we're breaking second law of thermodynamics. There must be a dome. Well, except we shot probes past it where it should be. No, you haven't. See, the denial of satellites, that is the one that just says, they are fuck all.
The one that gets me is when they say that you can't have satellites, or you need the dome because of the third or second law of thermodynamics. But then with the next breath, they'll talk about over unity machines.
Yeah.
Perpetual motion machines, even better than perpetual motion machines that actually generate energy for nothing.
And a sun and moon circling over a disk, what law causes or even allows that to happen?
Nothing. They've never proposed any means that would be holding that thing up there. How does that happen?
Magic.
And lemons fall up. Well, we'll have to look into that. It's been looked into. Boots on the ground. Been looked into. And, well, it's a matter of authorship.
Well, maybe what's moving the luminaries is the brown treacle of ether. They just throw spaghetti out there and see what sticks to the wall.
No, it's not spaghetti he's throwing.
Whatever chimpanzees throw.
Yeah, exactly. We used to have one of them at what was my local zoo. He was a chimp in his own cage, and there was a line painted on the grass in front of the cage. Cross that line at your own risk. Don't think he liked being locked up.
I saw a whole cage of chimpanzees turn on a whole group of kids on a field trip. It was horrible. They were making fun of the chimps. Oh, look at the monkeys!
Yeah,
and
the
suddenly,
chimps goes, laugh this off. Whack.
They were launching all manner of fruit at the kids, and they were running in all directions.
Yeah, well.
My wife said the zoo she used to go to had you walk through a tube through the gorilla cage, and the silverback would hide. He'd hide behind it. He'd wait till the tube was all full of kids. Then he'd run at the tube, bang his chest, and all the kids would go, ah! And then he'd kind of go, ha, ha, and go back and hide some more and wait for them.
Yeah, well, they're bored. They've got to get their kicks somehow, haven't they? Bless them.
Yeah, I know. You noticed that if he ran at it and everyone would freak out, and he just like, oh, you could see him kind of laugh and go back and hide, wait for the next tube to fill up with kids.
And yet, at the same time, there's a clip of a gorilla informing the people who are looking at him in sign language that they're not supposed to throw any food to him. And that makes me feel kind of sad that you've got this creature that's locked up, basically for the rest of its life, for people to come and look at, and he can talk to them using sign language. And you kind of think, yeah, that's not really the place for them, is it?
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
It is. I've seen that clip several times on the web, and that is because the keepers could teach him sign language, and he knew that the keepers didn't like people sort of throwing tidbits and snacks to him. And I think somebody had thrown him something, and he just sat there and patiently signed that, yeah, please don't throw food to me or something. And he's clever enough to know how to do that. The poor fucker's locked up.
The Bronx Zoo has said they will no longer keep elephants for similar reasons. After the 2 they have passed, they will not get any more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the place for creatures like that. They need to be out in their natural habitat, and if they're liable to be poached upon, then you need more measures put in place to stop the bloody poachers.
And finally, there's SeaWorld's had enough pressure against their killer whales and dolphin in captivity.
Yeah. Rightly so. I mean, these things can cover thousands of miles in a year, and you've got them in a swimming pool. Yeah, righto.
Well, zoos in general, or that sort of thing, it's a pretty arcane practice. I can understand it in the 1800s or the early part of the 1900s or whatever back then.
Yeah.
When that was the only way that normal people were ever going to really see one of those animals and what it does and how it behaves. But today, there's no real reason to ever have a zoo, in my mind.
No.
Not with nature films.
No.
Yeah, and the larger stuff. I mean, how many videos you seen of these hermits out on a boat somewhere, and then there's a pod of whales right next to them, and they're feeding and they're throwing themselves out of the water. You can go and see them in their natural environment and get soaked. I think that's much better than going to the,
And that's the whole thing.
Okay.
In captivity, their behavior is so different as opposed to what you see on a nature film, that to put them in the zoo changes their behavior. So what are you looking at? You might as well be looking at taxidermy.
There are. Okay. Here's the deal. When you're talking about cetaceans, dolphins and porpoises and whales, they shouldn't be in a little aquarium. They're really intelligent animals. But it's a fact that 80% of mammals live longer in captivity than in the wild. Just throwing that fact out. Just devil's advocate.
But that's not quality of life, and that's not their natural behavior.
There are a fair number of species in the zoos now that are basically, the population is in the zoos. They're just very rare. So they try to, bring their numbers back, and that. I mean, I guess that's one reason to have them, was to preserve, like the Ark, if you will.
The breeding.
Yeah, there are orangutan preserves where really that's the only place they're being saved, because their natural habitat's being destroyed. So they have to be raised by humans, and even a lot of them.
Yeah, but we're having to do that because it's our fault in the first place.
Yeah, animals like pandas and orangutans aren't going to last much longer without our help.
Yeah, because we're destroying their natural habitat.
Yeah.
There you
go. I work. I work on a Scottish estate, and there's like a safari park on the estate, and sometimes I get asked to work at the safari park. The stuff I do is like repairing fences and whatever. I spoke about this before. a few weeks ago, and I had to go into the lion enclosure to repair fences, which I really didn't enjoy. But yeah, there's there is a term called zoocosis, where animals who are removed from their natural habitat just go mad. Because you got animals like, well, fucking almost every animal has a range, a huge range, and they're stuck in an enclosure. There's an elephant in the safari park where next to where I work, who is she's really aggressive. And I think it's just the result of, I think she's alone as well. And I think it's purely a result of being captive and being put in a compound. I mean, it's the compound is about like half a football pitch, maybe at best.
Yeah, and animals are the elephants are social animals too. They need to be in a big herd.
Yeah. So the I've been in with that elephant, and she's super aggressive, and you just don't see that. When I know, well, not firsthand, but my mum and dad met in East Africa, so there's a long sort of family history to do with Africa and what encounters with elephants are like, and it's really not normal for this elephant to be so aggressive. But yeah, you really need to watch what you're doing if you go in there. But it's sad, I've seen this lots of times with lots of different creatures. I mean, you can't just expect a creature that normally has a huge range to live in a small compound so that people can look at it. And I do appreciate the reason, well, one of the reasons, the main reason that animals are kept like that is to make money, but to raise public awareness, in a conservation effort, perhaps. That's okay, fair enough. But when I see these animals, and it's like day to day, I see elephants, lions.
So anyway,
tigers, and it's just really pathetic. It's just really sad.
Is this leading on from the point that many animals are only alive because they're in zoos?
Yeah, well, there is that. There is that.
Yeah, I was wondering what point you were making. Because the other guys were talking about.
Well, I mean,
longevity in wild versus in captivity. I mean, if you've got species dying, you might want to put them in a zoo just to keep some of them alive, even though they're not happy about it. I don't know.
But that's very rare. I mean, so it's not. There's when you've got.
I was just wondering what
prevention
Point
prevention of extinction programs, that doesn't happen in zoos. In zoos, you've got you've got animals that have just simply been removed from their habitat, and to me, it seems it's just really.
A good point would be to keep the habitat and let them roam free. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like when I was repairing a fence inside the lion enclosure a few weeks ago, and I felt very uncomfortable about this because there was like lion paw prints and like bones lying around and stuff. But I thought, you know, if a lion decides to attack me, you know, fair enough. You know, it's such a shame. These like majestic, beautiful animals are kept for our enjoyment, and
is it just that then?
I mean, there is an argument, you know, to like, you know, the other argument is that it raises public awareness about nature.
Yeah, and that's the point of zoological gardens in the past, like Regent's Park, zoological gardens, and the London Zoo.
But
yeah, that was kind of the point of zoos initially, but I'm not too sure it's the entire point these days.
But it's, you know, it's at the expense. It's obviously at the expense of these animals. You know,
it's probably not good for their personal welfare, but it might be good for the species welfare.
Yeah.
Depends on where it is and why it's motivated. I just was wondering what your point was, because you sort of going on about you're coming out with anecdotes that didn't seem to go anywhere. I was just interrupting you to try and find out what you were trying to say, and I'm finding out, and that's good. Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think we've spoken before. Usually, just to
we haven't.
Just to let you in on the program. Usually, my points don't actually go anywhere.
I've heard you several times. And
I was going to point that out.
I remember your C-bomb the other night, and you then were like saying, "Am I right? Am I right?" for about 5 minutes. I was just trying to head off one of those. You know?
John is wont to have a good ramble, aren't you, John? You're very good.
I have heard him before. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. There you go. Then you know his SP. Yeah.
Yeah. John is kind of inducing me to go and open my bottle of Dalwhinnie Winter Gold, by the way. So, you know.
Do you know, actually, I haven't had any alcohol at all yet today, which is...
Hey, John.
You got to get something quick.
I mean, I've got a pretty good excuse to have a tot or two today, and I haven't yet, so I might have... I think I've still got some toffee vodka left, so...
Oh, yeah, I better go and get some Dalwhinnie and...
In fact, I will return.
Hey, John. John,
hey,
I'd like to add to your point there. We've also seen that a lot with humans. If they tend to go mad when you confine them, we've been seeing that with Bev's server by isolating them to Bev's channel. They're all going mad over there.
It's sensory deprivation.
Yeah. It's good to hear from you, George. You all right?
Sorry, I was gone for a while, but
I'm fine. Except for the weather. Jesus, we just can't seem to shake wintertime. Last 2 days it's been snowing again.
How's Can?
Han is doing very fine. He's laying here in the office. I've got a cushion that I've taken off a recliner, and I set it on the floor, and he's got his dog blanket on top of it, and he's just kind of looking at me right now. What the hell are you doing talking about me?
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
no, he's doing all right. He has difficulty walking some days. He's developed a neurological problem that interferes with the communication between the brain and the hind leg muscles. He doesn't have the hip dysplasia that usually plagues German Shepherds, but he has this neurological issue, and he tends to take very wide turns now, crashes into things, but he's still walking okay. We can still go on our walks, and he can navigate quite well, except that sometimes when he's been laying down a while, it takes him a few seconds to get the hind legs to respond properly.
Hell, I have the same problem.
Yeah. I know the feeling.
Sounds like a lot of us, right?
Yeah.
But overall, I'd say, he's doing real good. I mean, for being 12 and a half years old and a big German Shepherd, he's doing really quite well, because previous German Shepherds I've had, they haven't gone much beyond 11 years. And so I feel blessed every day that he has now.
Yeah, that's getting on up there for a large dog.
Yeah.
I'm like that with the two cats. I mean, they're both 16. You think at some point, I'm going to come downstairs in the morning and think, oh, you're not asleep. It's...
Yeah, it's the annoying little ankle-biting bastards that won't ever die.
Yeah, these two are hanging on the grim life at the moment. You sort of think, you're the equivalent of an 8-year-old human, and they're still... Yeah, they're fighting fit. You think, okay, it's all a bonus now.
I had a Siamese. Not really sure. He was either 21 or 22 when he died.
Yeah.
Well, I feel quite blessed that Khan is still very cognitive and doesn't have any continence problems or anything like that. And he'll still wake me up early in the morning. He'll come and lick my face and tell me it's time to let him outside to do a little business. So he's not, he hasn't lost control or anything where, he's having issues holding his pee or his crap.
Boy, my first two.
He's still very much with it.
Oh, hang on. Tiny, you're very, very quiet.
Oh, sorry. Am I?
Yes.
Is this better?
That's a bit better.
Okay. My first two cats when I was were already there before I was born, and they became an age of 23 for Siamese twins, but it was quite impressive. And later on, I took my two red cats by myself, and one died 2 years ago because he was killed by my neighbor's dog. But the other cat is now 15. He's still fit, and
yeah. I mean, It's a bit odd for me because, I mean, I grew up on a farm that was out of the village on the main road, so the traffic used to go by at a fair old speed. And we always had cats on the farm, and if they got to the age of 5 or 6, they were doing well. You know, natural causes for them was straying across the main road at the wrong minute. I mean, Dad did take out a couple with the tractor himself, which is quite good going, but you sort of got used to it. Yeah, 5 or 6 years, yeah. And then the last cat, whilst I was still at home, she came wandering up from the village one day, decided to stay, and she lasted a good 25 years. She didn't go anywhere near the road. I think she was petrified of it. So, but she turned up. She was fully grown when she sort of came wandering up the track towards the farm, and I made a fuss of her, and she thought, "Oh, it seems nice. I'll stay here." So for me to have 2 cats that have made it to 16, it's pretty good going in my books. And it's a quiet little close I live in. Traffic's not an issue. And I think they're of an age where they just don't want to stray very far anyway. They're quite happy to sit in the house all day. You know, get fed and water, get made a fuss of, and go outside and have a crap, and that's about it. And fine. I'm sure they'll carry on for years yet, the little buggers.
And that's how. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I've always thought, fucking, I wish I was a cat.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be.
It's such an arduous life they do lead. I mean, they sleep for best part of the day. You know, they just have to sit there and look cute, and they get fed. They don't have to worry about where their food's coming from. They always get fed and water. They get made a fuss of. They got a nice warm house to pick a spot to snooze in, and yeah, jobs are good.
And if they don't like the owner, they just simple go away and choose another house.
Yes. I've had several try to choose this house, which is why I've got one of those electronic cat flaps. Because I got fed up feeding everybody else's bloody cat.
My daughter actually wants to believe in reincarnation because she wants to come back as a house cat because that's ideal life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fucking right.
Yeah, I quite happily survive that.
Your most difficult decision is in like exactly where should I lie so that the angle of the sun comes into the window and makes me warm.
Yes.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have to find a house with things like a farmer and me. The cat is your boss. You're the personal of the cat. You're the servant of the cat.
I'm just here to feed them. That's my role. I mean, they're not my pets. I'm their pet. I'm here to feed them, water them, make sure they get treats at the right time of day, and make a fuss of them as and when appropriate. Yeah. Oh, I know who's in charge.
The cat is my boss. I know.
You know, it was a bit different. That Siamese that I had. He loved me. He wasn't like a normal cat. I think he maybe thought he was a dog, actually.
Oh, sorry.
But he didn't behave like a cat. He was it was amazing, really. He like really yearned for like physical interaction.
Oh yeah.
He would play fetch. He would like drop a toy on my feet, and if I didn't do anything, he would climb up on me and like gently sort of paw me in the face until I did something. And he would play fetch for forever. And he couldn't bear to be separated from me, like a dog, an insecure. It was quite strange. It was a beautiful animal. But yeah.
The first cat I had was already 6 years old when I was born. It was a black and white brother and sister. The brother was black, the sister was white. Half Siamese, and the black cat, he died when I was 17, so he was 23 in my arms. He wasn't in my arms when he was dying. We put him in a box in front of the eating place, and I was in the shower and I heard some scratches at the door. So I dressed myself and opened the door, and he was lying there scratching at the door. And the cat was always purring, except when he was actually dying. But when I picked him up, he started purring again. And after about a few seconds, it stopped. He died. I knew he died, but actually I still sat there for, I think, for 10 minutes before I called my parents that the cat died. But yeah, it was pretty emotional that the safe place the cat chose was my arms.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
I know.
Welcome to everybody out in the chat. I see we've managed to depress the living shit out of the world.
Sorry, Blue.
Killed the stream almost totally. Gone from 80, 90 down to 50. So, oh well.
Oh dear.
I think that,
maybe you'll get back on topic.
Anyway,
I'm thinking if we could figure out a way to tie cats dying in with level being horizontal, we'll be good. We'll get it going again.
Well, a lot of the cats that I had to bury were quite level.
Were they?
Yeah, they have a habit of dying stretched out.
Yeah.
Because you have to dig a bigger hole.
Who started this? Who started this? It was you, Watson. Damn it. You're the one that did it.
Yeah.
It was you and the zoo stories. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But what we could talk about again is the Dave Weiss and Professor Dave. I thought that was really interesting. I saw that about half an hour before I joined the stream, and what I noticed was that there was a huge amount of comments that said, "Oh Christ, this is terrible. This is terrible." I could only watch like 10 minutes, and Professor Dave was really rude, and called Dave Weiss names and whatever. Dave Weiss got exactly what he fucking deserved, and I thought Professor Dave was just being Professor Dave. And yeah, totally. And I thought it was actually quite good. I actually wished that it had gone on longer, and that he'd really sort of had the opportunity to like really nail him down. I thought it was. I don't know what I'm saying is, what do you guys think? For people who have watched it, what did you think happened? Because I thought that Professor Dave was very measured.
I thought Professor Dave did an excellent job. I don't recall him calling anybody any names. If he did,
Well, I
I'd
called him a
pay any
moron.
attention. Well, okay. Well, he is a moron. All right.
Yeah, it's a statement of fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did point out, I think, as a statement of fact, that what he was saying was stupid, and it was. And he didn't pull any punches. I thought I thought it was a good debate.
Well, the comments. I mean, at the moment, this video's got nearly 16,000 views. It's got over 3,000 comments, and if you look at the very latest one that was posted 5 minutes ago from JCLP81, Professor Dave, terrible human being, also full of shit. He can only debate with insult and interruption. So I'm guessing he's a dirt fan. And there's another. Scroll down a little bit more. Dog says Professor Dave doesn't even have a proper degree, and as somebody points out, no, he's only got a bachelor's in chemistry and a master's in science education.
He's a fucking
sounds proper enough to me.
Yep. So all of the flat earthers, and I would say probably at least 3/4 of all these comments are from flat earthers who are all supporting dirt and have got nothing but slagging off and insults for Professor Dave. And it was like that all the way through. I mean, they debated for about an hour, I think. And if you watch the live chat, it's pretty much the same thing. Dirt supporters have all come along and they're singing his praises, and Professor Dave is being rude and the moderation's abysmal and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you're not listening to anything that Dirt's saying, are you? Because he was straw manning, he was lying, he was ignoring everything that Professor Dave said. When an explanation was given, it was just ignored, brushed over. You mean Dave Weiss is just
Fluff?
Yeah, typical Flurf. Yeah. And Where's Wally has done a video on this, and there's a point where they're arguing about, why don't you feel the rotation the rotation of the Earth, and Professor Dave just makes such a good example of pointing it out that that's the only time I've seen Dirt speechless, because he just hadn't anything to say to it. So it's only a short video, but yeah, Where's Wally put that out earlier on today. That's worth watching, because he cut that bit out and showed it, and that's priceless.
Literally, that's the only thing I saw about it. But yeah, you're fucking right. Dave actually destroys him.
Totally. Hey, shout out Rodent last name for $2. Have some candy or coffee. Well, I got some coffee.
Yeah.
That works.
I got some whiskey.
I might have to go and get some more vodka.
I was going to say, farmers, salutations of the day to you, mate.
Thank you very much, sir. This is my broken glass. There's only ice in it now. But yes, thank you.
On your celebration of another trip around the sun.
Yes, I've managed to make another orbit of the sun. Thank you.
I'm actually drinking myself right now because I have a bottle of All's Wrong called Old Captain.
I've rummaged to the back of the cupboard and found my tucked away dwindling supply of toffee vodka, but I might just have to get it again, because that's gone down very well.
Don't mention toffee vodka, mate, please.
It's yeah.
Oh goodness.
My ex got pissed up on that stuff once.
Oh, I haven't got enough to get pissed.
When she was out with the kids, I got a phone call from my son. I had to go and pick them up.
Oh dear. No,
she wouldn't open the car door fast enough and vomited on the floor of the car.
No,
I nearly kicked her out at the side of the road.
No, well, vodka was nearly my downfall, so I do still have quite a capacity for it, I'm afraid.
You know what the worst drinks were? The tasted vodkas. Or Bacardi's, whatever. When you had Bacardi raspberry or vodka lemon or stuff like that.
Yeah, of course, the advantage of vodka is you very rarely get hangovers off it. The clear spirits don't give you hangovers. Well, they certainly don't give me hangovers. Anyway.
The problem was I was working in the bar at that time, and what I said, the Bacardi raspberry, the vodka lemon, and stuff like that, they didn't taste the alcohol, so they were thinking they were drinking lemonade until they stood up.
Yes, and then realised.
I fear that we're drifting off topic again.
Sorry, it's only because somebody wished me happy birthday.
Oh, sorry, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm just glad I ain't got to drive to work tomorrow.
Today's a big day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose so, but it's just been another day of sitting at home working, I'm afraid. But there you go. You get to the point where it's just another day, and yeah.
It's the 31st anniversary of your 21st birthday.
Yes. Yes, well done.
Fuck, I forgot. You told last year what your age was.
52.
Yeah, okay. No, you told me last year it was 51. I'm everybody is allowed to know I'm 45.
Yeah, I remember 45. Most of me 20s are a complete mystery.
I don't remember 45.
I do.
I don't
remember when you were drinking your age.
I don't remember 45, and I'm only 46.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that.
Yes, I know. Okay.
And is it drinking your age on your birthday?
The fun part is that my wife, the first time I joined Discord, said, why do you join Discord? You'll be a young, a fat old guy trying to get in contact with young people. I'm the youngest one in the group. Why?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it don't work like that, particularly not in this in this group of people, shall we say? There just don't seem to be too many young ones. Not that I'm aware of. Anyway.
There's also an interest for knowledge and science. And funny part of it, my daughter is the same.
I think the main problem with this particular group is that we're all godless reprobates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I won't argue with that. Yeah, where are we? Yeah, godless reprobates. That's a good description.
Well, godless I won't say, because MC Toon does still have a religion and does still believe in the God, but he
but he doesn't care to talk about it all the time, which makes a big difference.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't want to throw it into the discussion. That's the difference, and that's good.
Yeah, he also doesn't deny science, of course.
This is true. He doesn't confuse religion with science. Yeah.
No, but I also have a lot of because I'm a sailor and I sail with a lot of Indonesians. I have a lot of friends that are Muslim. One of my best friends is Muslim, but okay, let them. I don't care. They let me.
You know, I don't want to. Just on the topic of religion, I don't want to deep swear of the conversation, but I saw a video that was purported to be from the Ukraine earlier today, when a Russian, it was definitely a Russian tank that got blown up. But when it was blown up, the person that fired the shoulder-launched missile shouted, "Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!"
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's not the Ukraine, is it?
Well, he could have been taking the piss, because there's an awful lot of videos come out of the Middle East over the years where people have shot it on their cell phone or whatever, and they're always going Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar as they fire the missile, and they're shouting it as you see it flying, and then they're all shouting it even more as it hits the tank and the turret goes flying up. So it's either A, not in the Ukraine, or B, they were taking the piss by shouting Andy Snack Bar.
No, it's just fucking. It's just footage from Syria.
That is half the problem. They say, "Oh, here's a new clip from Ukraine." You think, well, that's not in the bloody Ukraine, because you can see it's not. Or you think, well, I saw that several years ago, so I know it's not from the Ukraine. But they're all the same sort of bloody tanks. Particularly if you can't tell the difference between one tank and another, they all look the bloody same. And half the time they are.
Well, T-72 is a T-72 in my book,
and everybody's got them. That's the problem. Everybody's got T-72s and T-64s. There's thousands of them rattling around everywhere.
But anyway, that was I don't want the conversation to go down that road. But yeah, start talking about cats again.
Sort this on more vodka.
Sorry, I prefer dogs, to be honest.
I do too.
But yeah, well, fucking Blue's been silent. You lost the dog. You lost the dog recently, and you've remained silent about that. So Blue knows all about this kind of what it's like.
Oh yeah,
losing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
But I got a great dog right now. He is fantastic.
Not to throw shade on you, Blue, but I've got 4 dogs and 2 cats.
Oh boy.
And I find it hard to decide between them. I've got to say, I sympathise with what people have been saying about cats and dogs. But yeah, they're all good while they're alive. It's a pain when they die.
Yeah, it is. Your audio is really muffled to me, Lefty. I don't know if it's just me or.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just mumbling, really.
Nah, it just sounds like kind of a crappy microphone or something. It's really all bass.
No, it's really good. It's meant to be a decent headset, but it's what I use generally for phone calls, and it's probably just my mouse not working properly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can still understand you, but it's just not very crisp.
No, I've got such a bassy voice. You wouldn't understand that. It's your high-pitched little squeal, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, if you ever wonder about your dog being your best friend, you can prove he is. And it's simple. Lock the dog and the wife. Lock your dog and your wife in the closet. Come back in 2 hours and open the door and see which one I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, might have a wagging tail. Yeah.
Well, the cat is also glad to see you because he thinks more or less from, finally you're there, you're gonna feed me. But Maybe I'm work cappers. Sorry.
Hey, shout out to Judy Bassett for €7. Something for Joker. Yeah, he's quite the animal.
You know, I clipped Skippy Dog, the border terrier, recently. She didn't speak to me for like fucking 3 days.
What did you clip her with? A car or a pair of shears?
What's that?
What did you clip her with? Was it a car or some shears?
No, I cut her.
Or just your hand. You clipped her with your hand. The clippers are very.
No, I trimmed her coat with.
You trimmed her, right? Okay.
Yeah,
you said you clipped her. Sorry, I was wanting to clarify that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
No, because you know, it's funny.
You didn't do Will Smith before that.
No, she didn't. She didn't tell a joke I didn't like. But the clippers, I thought they were broken. But they were. They were.
Do you understand at all what I mean by the differentiation of the three meanings of clips that I just said that?
Yeah,
you could clip them.
Yeah.
You could clip them with your hand, or you could clip them with some shears. And you meant you trimmed it with some shears, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I tried flippancy, but it ran away with me. You didn't seem to get what I meant. Sorry.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
I'm back on mute.
But you know, what was strange, because I've got like, I'd never actually used them before. I've got these like proper like dog, just like a beard trimmer for dogs, and I thought it was broken because when I switched it on, it didn't make any noise at all, and so I thought it wasn't working. But it's completely silent, you know, so it doesn't freak the dog out, obviously. So eventually I was like, oh fuck, it is actually working. But still, Skippy was not impressed at all. But she was getting pretty fucking shaggy. So, and she looks a lot smarter now. Yeah. It's nice having a dog. It's nice having that hero's welcome when you come home.
My only issue with having a dog is worrying about them being around my wheelchairs, especially the power one, because it's so big and heavy. If they got in the way of it, it would do them a lot of damage.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, that's what Dad did with a tractor on at least 2 cats on the farm. Humping the moving the wheat on the barn floor, going backs and forwards with his tractor. They got a bucket on the front. He went backwards and forwards, backwards and squash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night, Judy Bassett.
You don't think for a bloody cat.
Have a good evening. We're going to wrap it up here pretty shortly because I've got some more videos I could play, but I don't think so. Not tonight. We'll save it for another time.
Yeah.
Got a pretty hilarious exchange between Chris Berry and a bunch of people. It's fun.
Oh, Chris Berry.
Chris Berry? Chris Berry say stupid stuff.
Oh, stop it. When does he ever make any sense?
In less than 20 minutes, we have a live stream from Loki Fisher anyway.
No, Tiny's disappeared again. How'd you do that?
Did it disappear?
You went very, very quiet again. Now you've come back again. How'd you do that?
I bet he's walking away from his microphone.
No, my microphone connection is probably a little bit better now. But no, Logifish has a live stream in less than 20 minutes from now.
Oh, okay.
It's another one of these that goes too late. Damn.
Oh, Blue, I pretty much finished that structure that I was building today. Thank God. Yeah. I had to put PVCU roof, like corrugated PVC on the top of it.
Yeah.
So it's almost officially over. It feels like I've been there for like months. It's only been like a couple of. But it's been really good actually, because my boss, the head forester, he said to me, like, this is great. This is you've done a really good job. It looks fantastic. It's exactly what they wanted. And it's really nice to get that feedback, so it was worth it in the end, I suppose. But it was a bit of a slog, to be honest. So.
Yeah, well, I know how that goes, having built a few houses.
2/3 of the job is the satisfaction of completing it, and the other third is getting the recognition for doing what you set out to do, and knowing that you met the goals, which Blue's got a huge amount of experience in as well. But
it still wasn't.
It is great when you get recognition for what you put in. It's good that you got the feedback, John.
Oh,
just let's just be just to be clear, it wasn't Cavendish grade carpet, right? It was rough sawn timber.
It's effort, planning, and effort. And then more effort to get it finished, and then someone says, "Yeah, good job." That I understand why you want to share that.
Yeah, it always feels great. Yeah, it always feels great when you finish
you do it in the
it.
vacuum. You feel quite proud, but when someone actually gives you feedback on it, it's good. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I think more often than not, when I finally finish a project, I'm just so over it. I just never hear about it again.
Exactly.
Yep.
Enough's enough.
That's kind of where.
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We've been going 2.5 hours on YouTube, and I'm going to, at this point, say goodnight to the YouTube crowd. Unless anybody out there has got anything else. And I'm happy to go down the list. You got anything you want to say, Lefty, before we leave YouTube?
Good night, guys. Yeah. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah. How about you, Alan?
I will be live streaming Sunday at 1300 British Summer Time, debunking a few more anti-NASA memes.
So, post a link out in the chat if you want to.
I haven't actually set the stream up yet, so no link to post.
Well, in that case, don't.
Yeah.
How about it, bro, Watson?
It's been a pleasure, and also, if you haven't seen it yet, look up on YouTube Professor Dave and Dave Weiss. It's quite entertaining. That's all I've got. Thank you very much.
What about it, Farmers? Birthday boy.
I'll just say cheers. This vodka's going down very well. Thank you.
Excellent. I bet you got anything? He's on mute. And George is muted and deafened. So, OLM, you're up.
Hey, thanks for hosting. Yeah, it's fun. See you.
Yeah, something to do, huh? How about it, Larry? He's probably stepped away too. Rumpus, you around? You've been very quiet tonight, Rumpus. Oh, okay. And last but not least, Tiny Captain.
Yeah, I'm busy with the video, and I hope I get to finish it before I have to leave again. And I love to be here, and yeah, always Blue. It's nice to be in one of your streams.
Yeah, it's good to see all you guys. Thanks so much for dropping by and having a chat this afternoon. And we'll be.
Oh, and happy birthday, Farmers!
Thank you very much.
Yeah, happy birthday, Farmers.
Happy birthday, Farmers!
Cheers, guys.
Just got a quick message for Farmers. Everyone likes a drink, but no one likes a drunk. Okay, you know.
Well, you're absolutely fine. I'm not even close to getting drunk. Like I said, I haven't got enough toffee vodka to actually do that, and it's. Although I haven't got to go anywhere tomorrow, I still got to work. So.
But you know how serious I am about that kind of thing. That's you know you can't.
No, you don't have to worry on that score. Trust me.
Okay.
All right.
But your concern is appreciated.
Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
See you guys next.